I've got a trip coming up with my daughter, and it's for her senior trip. She graduated from high school. A week later, we're going to London, train to Paris,
Perfect.
and then south. We were thinking south of France. So we need to talk.
Yeah, get on the water.
I don't think I want to rent a car. Yep, I don't think I want to rent a car.
Right.
And then I think I want to do some training. I haven't really asked her specifically if she even wants me to run with her, but when I do run with her, I don't run, I ride a bike.
Oh, okay.
And so I remember thinking I'm on an e-bike. She's so fast that I'm on an e-bike getting tired and wondering if I can make it.
Wow,
that's
impressive.
Right. So she's fast. She ran the mile in 4:58 is her
really
fastest. Yeah.
Wow.
It was just faster than I've ever.
Right.
I ran track in college. So I could never run that fast.
Wow.
So that's what gets her into this scholarship thing.
My curious mind is, would you want to run that fast?
I don't. Yeah. Right. You know how painful that is. Yeah. The first lap, you don't feel it. Right. I did run the 1500.
Right.
Wow. So, which isn't about 100 meters short of a mile. Mile 1600.
Right.
So it's the last 3 laps though, is pain. They say the hardest one's the third one. The last lap is your last lap, so you're mentally you're like I'm going to be done. There. Yeah, I'm going to get there. But the third lap is really hard to keep that pace up.
Right.
So she's got big goals to set the school record, which is 4:48, and that's a fast high school record. Right. Anyway, her pace, I don't know what she wants to train. I mean, it'll be right after her school year. I mean, it'll be right before she goes into training in the fall. So I'm not sure if she's going to really want to push it up anyway.
Right.
But she's going to want to run faster than I can run.
Are you going to stay in Airbnbs or pensions?
We haven't decided yet.
So when you're going to do your running with her, if you're going to be in an Airbnb, just look for one that's got a bike.
There you go.
That you have access.
Sure.
To something.
That's a good idea.
Or if you book an Airbnb, ask the host if they have any neighbors or anybody that has a bike, because you don't necessarily have to go rent one. The Europeans, it's interesting. You can
somebody's got one.
Strike up a conversation with someone. Yeah, somebody knows somebody who could.
That's great.
Could help out.
That's a great idea.
And don't be afraid to ask. Okay. I guess would be that's what I would recommend.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, you'd be amazed culturally. And this is something when we started traveling into Ireland, I'd mentioned our cottage is similar to our boating because we kind of do it in the same increments. We're there 60 days. Mm-hmm. It's got its systems. Mm-hmm. We don't just hop in the car and go somewhere. It's so rural. I mean, Friday is market day in Bantry. That's a 35-minute drive. So Friday we go and get fresh veg from Mikey's, and there's a seafood vendor there. So there are not real big fish markets everywhere in Ireland because all the fish they catch goes to the EU. But there is, on the market day, there is one fishing co-op that then brings fish, and everyone that wants fish. What's really interesting is a lot of the Irish people don't eat fish.
They don't eat fish?
No, they'll eat lamb and beef because that's what they raise.
Okay.
So fishing is a luxury.
Is it?
Thing? Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, it took both Andrea and I, but me specifically, it took me a little time to realize that culturally, these people are nice, sincere, and it's almost humbling because here, if we're doing something and we need some help or we need to organize something, we don't want to impose on people. People are busy. So just culturally, we don't, and I'm not speaking for everyone. I'd just say for me, asking somebody to help is not something I normally would do. I don't want to put them out. They're on a schedule. I'm on a schedule. I don't want to take time away from their work-life balance.
Yeah, you don't even think
to handle mine. Right. It's not even in the equation. In Ireland, it is okay to ask for help, and people will help. They won't say no. They actually, oh, sure, yeah, no worries, no bother. And it took me, it probably took me about a month and a half to really settle in with being a part of the community is really being a part of the community. So we could, if we didn't go engage with our neighbors, we would be expats and we wouldn't be a part of the community.
Right. Yep.
But there we are a part of the community. I will go and have tea with them.
Yep.
And sit down and talk with them. And so you might think you have an hour and then you're going to go talk to the neighbor and then they're going to offer you tea and you accept it. You don't. You have to say no 3 times before they really mean it. So they'll, would you like some tea? Oh, no, that's fine. I got to get back. And oh, no, really, I'm going to have some. I'm going to make some. Why don't you have a spot of tea with me? Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, really, Joel, you should just take some time and get the crack or whatever. I'm like, okay, one for the hand is usually what I'll say, which means, okay, give me a cup of tea. I'll stand here. And then an hour later, I'm heading home to do what I do.
Yeah.
And that's part of it. We get to slow down.
Yep.
And I think, back in time, it's almost, when I think about my grandparents talking about what it used to be like.
Yeah.
They were closer to that because all their parents immigrated from that.
Yeah.
They were immigrants here and brought that with them.
Yep.
Our habits, our consumption and our lifestyles and our transportation. And, we're on freeways, 2-lane freeway, 3-lane freeway full of cars. In Ireland, they may have 1 car for the whole house and 6 kids. And they count on each other. So if someone's going to church, they're not taking 6 different families to the church. One driver that week takes everyone to the church if that's where they're going. If they're going to the GEA field, whatever, it's totally different.
Wow, interesting.
And so if you can imagine this is for real. They do not work on Saturdays and Sundays. There is a work week, Monday through Friday. And if you're going to get together at night, that gathering will start at 7:30 or 8 p.m. because they hold sacred the schedule of work. You work from 8 or 9 to 5. Go get a pint because that's the local. That's where everyone goes and it's going to the post office. They're exchanging the gossip of the day, get the crack, have 1 pint. They don't go to the pub to get drunk. They just get a pint, catch up, check in with everyone, then go home and have a family meal together with the kids. And then after that, they'll go visit with whoever. They don't skip dinner and I'm working late today. Doesn't happen.
I need some of that.
You can learn a lot from that.
Yeah.
And so Andy and I, we have a phrase here. We're going all Irish on this because what we've learned in that lifestyle is that everything that we put the timelines on and the rush is us. That's just us. Because nothing has to get done. That the only thing you have to do every day, is breathe.
Amen.
Right?
Yeah.
That's it.
That's true.
And all the rest of it is all this other stuff that we put on ourselves.
That's right.
So we've learned a lot in that, and we everything gets sorted. And a reason why everything gets sorted is what we've learned there is a lot of times we do need to ask people for help to get stuff sorted. So here we will take the time and recognize, okay, this is not going how we thought, but it doesn't have to go how we thought. It'll all get sorted and we can work it out. Yeah.
That's cool. I read a book about how the Irish saved civilization. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
So I think what I got from that is a long time ago. Might have been college years or something like that, but it was who is it? The Irish saint
Patrick. Yep.
Was involved in translating the Bible, I think, into English. Isn't that right?
Right.
So
a little bit there from Gaelic, probably to English. Yep.
Yeah. So back during that time, there was only a few people that could read, and they were the priests.
Right.
So they spent their time translating the book. One of the only books.
Right.
At the time.
And it probably would have been different. It probably would have been from English to Gaelic in order to have that, because the Gaelic was the original indigenous language.
Okay.
There.
Different than English.
Yeah.
And is it more of like a Nordic
Yeah, it is. It's interesting. It's a native tongue, and Reese and Rowan speak Gaelic. It is a very difficult language to speak, and most of the Irish, they're required to take it in the schools, but a lot of them don't keep up with it. There are certain villages they call the Gaeltacht, which is an actual village that's subsidized to keep the indigenous language alive, and that's what they speak. All the signs are there. All the people, they're bilingual, but the literal, they're actually subsidized to speak in the grocery stores and everywhere in Gaelic.
Really? Wow.
Just to keep the language, because when the indigenous language disappears, it's gone.
It's gone forever.
Yeah.
And can you understand it?
No.
Oh, you can't even understand the speech?
No.
Oh, wow. I didn't know it was that.
It's, they have, it's, well, I suppose I could understand it if I knew it, if I was taught it, but it's very difficult to learn.
Is it from the north? Is it kind of like the influence from like Norway and some of the Nordic countries?
Yes. The Northern European, Scots Gaelic.
Yeah, Icelandic.
Yeah.
Is impossible.
Right.
To understand, and to pronounce. So it kind of reminds me of that.
And that's one of the things that there is a benefit in Ireland. It's primarily an English-speaking country. So as Americans, pretty much everywhere you go, you'll find English in all of those countries. But not everyone really cares about English.
Right.
So like when you're in Portugal, if you're talking to native Portuguese people, they're going to speak to you in Portuguese.
Right.
They don't want you to try to speak with them in Spanish because their Spanish, for lack of the proper word there, is Portuguese Spanish. It's not Spanish, Spain Spanish.
Yep.
So, and there's friction between those two countries. Yeah. And in Spain, they want to speak Spanish. Now you can speak English, but you're only going to speak English with Spanish people that give a rip.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then Italy, same thing. Now, Italy, it's interesting because we've been in all of those countries, and each one is unique in its own way. They're all beautiful.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Italy because a lot of the history that we grew up with is from Italy.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, Italy, and then also Greece. So between Spain, Greece, and Italy, I think Italy, for me, has been the most friendly to tourists. And I don't know why. Why I feel that way. I don't know if it's because there's just that many people that go there, and so we saw a lot more interaction. But all of those countries, you don't have to learn their language to navigate your way around. There's somebody that speaks English somewhere.
And France is, from what I understand, the most unwilling to speak English. So,
very true.
So they're doing their thing, right? Yep. And so if you're traveling in France, you're on Google Translate.
Yes. Yeah, and they don't want to teach you French. They don't care.
Right. Yep. And so I'm about to experience that, and I'm looking forward to that.